Hi, everybody. I'm sitting here today with Aaron Stringer, the host of Legacy Made Clear, and he is with Red Cliff Legal. Aaron, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing really good, especially now since all of the equipment is working properly. It makes these mini podcasts just so much easier to do.
Yeah.
So, Aaron, today we want to talk about what is the biggest estate planning mistakes that people make and how do we avoid them?
Yeah, it's a great topic just because, well, I mean, right off the bat, the biggest one that I see is the DIY. People want, understandably, they want to be able to do something themselves, find a cheaper route to put together an estate plan, and I get it.
Yeah.
I've tried the same thing with plumbing, and it didn't turn out great. And so that's what I try to share with my potential clients is that yes, you can give it a try, but the difference between plumbing and estate planning is you're going to find out about the problems with plumbing pretty quick when you've got the geyser coming out of your faucet.
Yeah.
But with estate planning, it's not until after you've passed away that your family's going to find out what happened and that it wasn't sufficient. So that's probably the biggest blunder that we see. That just a DIY that doesn't quite meet up to what's needed.
So, how do they do like a DIY? Do they either or just kind of write up something on a piece of paper and think and maybe get it notarized and go, that's good enough? Or do they get on one of these DIY, low cost, easy to do online legal service things where they push all the buttons and bada bing, bada boom, here's your estate plan?
Yeah, all the above. Yeah,
Oh,
so
God.
there's some folks that will just write something out, which probably is more effective than what most people do is finding something on they just Google it, or they like you're saying there are all kinds of not necessarily scams, but just people that are financial planners or kind of estate planning adjacent, and they just decide to create their own forms and just kind of do that on the side, thinking that they can just throw that together. And it's just typically just doesn't cut it.
Well, how can I tell if I'm working with one of those people? Maybe I'm presuming that you've got to be an attorney to do an estate plan. Is that true and correct? Or can some financial planner do it?
Well, you know, that's the thing. Financial planners could do it. There's definitely rules and regulations about whether who can practice law. Obviously, you have to have a license to actually practice law. But the question becomes, if I just put this form in front of someone that's has most of it already filled out and they just put their names in it, is that practicing law? And from the financial planner or whoever else's point of view, they don't think they're practicing law. They're doing is putting a form in front of someone and having them fill it out. So what that creates often is a document that is rarely state specific because these things are governed by state law.
Yeah.
It probably is not personalized or customized to this family's situation, and it doesn't account for the vast number of different customizations that can be provided for any given individual or family.
Wow. So, how could I recognize the fact? Let's say I'm working with somebody. I see an ad online, and the ad says, "We will do a state plan for you, 99.95. Come on down." And I go down there and I give him my 99.95, and he says, "Okay." He has me do all this stuff. How do I know if that guy is legit or not? What's
Well,
the
I
flag I can look for?
Yeah, so we're typically required, and I can't speak for every single state, but you're required if you're an attorney, if you're advertising anything, you need to disclose who you are, where you're licensed,
Yeah.
and your contact info generally. So it should be pretty open if it is an attorney that's preparing it. And if it's not, then yeah, I would say definitely look into it more, do some very good research into who you're working with before you take the dive and pay them any money.
Would not go to I wouldn't go to Bob's Auto Repair and Estate Planning Service.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. They can probably help you get that new carburetor or whatever, but I would not trust them with with the estate planning side of it.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in letting the professionals, the trained expert professionals, do what they do best. Don't don't try to list and sell your own home. Don't
Right.
do your own brain surgery, and don't make your own estate plan.
Yes,
Just do it
exactly.
right. You know, that's
And
great.
one of the things that the DIY leads to is it other blunders that we see. So one of the biggest is failure to do what's called funding the trust. So
Oh,
funding the trust is the process after the trust is created. It's great. You've signed this document. You've got, 150 pages of something sitting in front of you. But until you actually transfer property into that trust, then it's just that stack of papers. It's not really working for you at all.
oh,
So that includes, for my clients, if they own a home, I'm going to be preparing a new deed for them to help transfer their home into the trust. I'm going to give them guidance about how to transfer bank accounts into the trust, investments. We'll talk about retirement accounts, what to do with those. So, each asset has a little bit different method and process for how to treat it when you have a trust. And those things just aren't typically covered well if you're doing it yourself or through some of these other folks that don't know the full picture.
sounds good. So, Aaron, I've got I've got it narrowed down between you and the guy that does auto repair and estate trusts. Maybe we should call you. What's your phone number?
I sure hope it's not a very close call, which one you're going to call. But yeah, please give me a call. Phone number is 435-817-9187. And you can check out my website at redclifflegal.com and shoot me an email as well. So it's astringer@redclifflegal.com. We can set you up with a free consultation.
Great. And don't forget, guys, to follow, subscribe, and share Aaron's YouTube channel with all of his podcasts on there. It's just called Legacy Made Clear. And Aaron, thank you very much. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.